Wow. Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and get started. All right. We have one more from my group. All right, everybody. Well, today, the name of this class is Tambo Locks, Blocks, and Disarms. We're actually going to be going through more than that. We're going to be going through strips, locks, chokes, takedowns, controls, and disarms. But that was too long of a title to put on the class schedule, so I had to shorten it a little bit. All right, so we're going to look at a whole bunch of things. Looking at ranks, Amy and Emily, you guys have just started working your Tambo, which is good. Looks like we have some there. It looks like most everybody has. I don't know about Joseph, what your rank is, but it looks like we have.
I'm green.
Green belt. Okay. All right. So everybody has the experience with the Tambo. Although I over here just started, I had a little bit, but we'll get you going. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to go through a bunch of different disarming blocks, lock techniques that we're going to use for the Tambo. And we're going to start with one that you've probably all done before. And I'm going to kind of refer to this as a strip. And we can use the strip for essentially any technique that you're blocking from the left side. So if an attack is coming to your left. So, all right. So the first one we're going to do, I'm going to show you, we'll start with the simple, he's going to do a right to left diagonal strike. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go offline, which, by the way, everyone should know, getting offline is absolutely imperative, not only for self-defense, but especially for a Tambo strike. You want to get offline when you can. So for this first one, we're going to get offline. We're going to do a roof block. Now, one thing that's important I'm going to show right now, notice that when I jump offline, let me do it on this side. When I jump offline, my hand is coming out. I'm checking his hand like that. This check hand is important to use your empty hand for pretty much all of the strikes that will come towards you. If you can engage your live hand and not let it sit there, that's going to be very important. It'll help. So for this first one, I'm going to jump offline. I checked his hand. I can now slide my hand down to the end of his Tambo, or not the end, but the Tambo close to his hand. I'm going to bring my Tambo, the poinio, in here, and I'm going to come through this arm. Then I can come back through with a double strike or whatever. Now, one thing that's important when we're practicing this with our partners, we are being nice. When we're doing this, if we ever have to do this in a real situation, we're not nice. So when he comes in, I can check his hand here. I slide down. I'm not going to put the poinio. I'm not going to put the poinio here. I'm going to go right into his hand and pull it through. So this is kind of a combination of a strip motion of the hand and also like a smashing into his hand. All right, everybody see that? So when you're practicing this in a second with your partner, be nice and don't actually smash their hand because they're going to have to do it to you in a second and you're not going to like it. So here we go. One time. Try to catch there. Slide the hand down. And look what I'm doing with my body. I'm taking my hips. I'm turning it directly towards the area that I'm going to strip it from. And now I'm going to step my back leg back. And that's taking him off balance. If he keeps going on, smack his leg here, and come through with a strike to the face. All right. So let's try that one first. Okay. You're going to alternate back and forth with your partner. First person comes in with a diagonal right to left strike. If you're going to be doing the treat or the defense, you're going to step offline with a roof block, using your check hand, reach down, strip, come back through. All right. Anybody have any questions? All right, give it a try. Oh, and yes, if you are by yourself, I just demonstrated how to do it. So you can work it, do the best you can to visualize what you're doing. All right, go ahead and give it a try. Oh, hey, Mamie, how are you? All right, go ahead and start working on it. One more time. Go the other way, Amy or Emily, whichever one. That's Emily, I think, right? So block it, Grab the Tambo with your check hand, and slide it down, and then come through, down, and strip back towards your right. Turn back toward, no, not to your left, to your right. There you go. That's it. Good. Catch. All right, real quick, go ahead and stop for a second. I want to just bring up a few points for everybody as you're doing this. So a couple fine points that you want to make sure you don't do. When you're jumping offline and using this check in, if you do this and then try to grab it, more than likely, he's going to hit me in the head with the Tambo. If you're going to do a roof block without using your check hand, you want the roof block to have a reinforcement. But because I'm using my check hand here, I don't need that because I can actually even possibly stop his arm if I'm able to catch it without him actually being able to strike the Tambo. So try to make the check hand catch and the block offline kind of simultaneous as best you can. Second thing, do not try to catch the Tambo. So don't go in here and go and trying to catch the Tambo. It's not going to work. You might hit yourself or get your hand smashed. So when you come up, you're checking the hand, you're sliding down to the Tambo. When you do that, you're going to, I told you I turned my hip towards, and I didn't tell you as I step my left foot back. You all should know what generates a lot of the power, your hips. So when I take my right hip back, boom, and I follow through, the hip turn is what generates the power to strip that from the person and, of course, smashing them in the hand. All right, go ahead and do it a couple more times. And after you strip the Tambo, please do follow through.
So when we're doing this technique,
you took the Tambo out of their hand, you got to take them out.
Super powerful. This is a concept that we're going to bring into application. So when we're coming up, think about what
that's it, Emily. That's the one. Yep. Now put your left hand out though as you catch the hand. There you go. Now slide down to the Tambo. Yeah, there you go. But remember, don't go towards the left. Strip back to the right. You're going to step back. There you go. You want to step away from her. Good. All right. How we doing? Got a few. Yeah. Good. Okay, everybody stop for a second. So this type of what we call a strip, I guess, or a hook is really for attacks on the left side. So it's not limited to just a diagonal strike. It's not limited to just a diagonal strike. We can actually do this for any of the left side blocks. So if he's going to strike me horizontally, boom, I come across here and slide down. Now this one does take a little bit more of a circle. It takes a little bit of time, but here's where you can get a little bonus in on this. So when I step offline, bam, and I come through here, why not smack him in the ribs as you do it? Go through him, boom, and then and follow through. Okay, so give that one a try. Well, actually, but let me show you the other one. The left side low is a similar thing. I jump offline for left side low. I got my check hand down here to catch him. I can smack him in the knee. Boom, boom, as I come through. Okay. So try now all three of those on the left side and see how it feels. See if you like the side and the low. Go through each one of those.
When you're doing the middle one, the one that you just demonstrated first,
yeah,
could you also just strip upwards with the butt of the Tambo?
Yes, you could. That's something that would, using the butt end, going that direction, you could, yes. Though that one does take a little bit more effort. The question, so when he comes in here, boom, you could come up like this and do it. Yes, that does work as well. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good question. Oh, that's it. Good. Tavor, you got a deadly spatula attacker or something there, looks like. Nice. All right. I like it.
One more time. Breathe. Good forward stance movement.
Yeah. Make sure you try all three if you can before we move on.
Right foot comes to that stance. Short forward stance. Center. Reach in. Deep breath back.
All right. So Amy, do that one again. Amy, do that one more time. So when you block, step offline and yeah, try to catch the hand. There you go. Good. Now slide your hand down onto the tambo. Come up, strip, and step your right leg back. Step your right leg back and strip it. There you go. That's it. Good. All right, everybody looks like they did that a few times. All right, so let me show you. We can do this also in yin grip. Okay, so for those of you who haven't learned yin grip yet, it's okay. So we got yang grip, which is what we're just working on, and we also have yin grip for this. So I can do the same thing for yin grip if it comes in. Now, this is a little bit different because I'm still sliding down, but instead of having the poinio or the butt end, I'm pretty much using my whole tambo. But if you're going to do it, if you're going to do this, you don't want to be down anywhere low on the tambo. You still want to be really close on this because this is where you can get the leverage to pull that from as you smack their hand. So when he comes in for this and I do a yin version of the roof block, I'm going to come down and hit him, basically hitting down with my hand and tambo at the same time and stripping through that and following through. So it works the same way, but you just need to realize that when you're coming down on this to do the strip, you want to be close hand tambo on your opponent like that. Okay, go ahead and try yin grip a few times if you want, or if you don't want to do yin and you want to practice the yang a couple more times, that's fine too. Try the yin version if you want to. See how it feels. See what, if you can tell the difference or feel the difference between the two. Yeah, I know. I guess Tavor, it'll be a little harder with, well, I guess you could do yin grip with a sword. That'd be kind of funny, but. Okay.
Yeah, that one could be a dagger or something. So
it could, yes. I just wouldn't want to be holding the. Well, I guess we could hold it, yeah, on the butt end that way. Yeah, that would work. All right. Everybody got a chance to do that a couple times? Yep. Good. So Mamie, do the do a proper yin roof block first. Do a yin roof block on her attack. Oh, I'm sorry, Emily or Amy, you can come with a yang strike. We're not going to do yin strikes on this one. All right, everybody have a chance to do that a few times. Feel the difference. Go ahead. I'll let you finish that one. Go ahead, Emily. Finish it up. Okay. Good. All right. So that's the first type of a disarm, which I'm going to call a hook, or it's basically stripping the tambo from the opponent. So I'm going to call that a hook. The next one we're going to look at is a slide. And this is actually probably one of the basic ones that you can do that we do a lot with a bow, but you don't think about it with a tambo as much. And so for a slide, what I'm going to do on this one, I am not going to use my check hand like we just did. Instead, I'm going to do the reinforcement on this one. So if he does the same diagonal strike, I'm using the reinforcement for this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the tambo and slide right down onto his hand. And I'm not doing that nicely. Well, we are for our friends and partners here right now, but in a real situation, I would take this, boom, and slam down as hard as I possibly can to strip the tambo from it. And And then from there, come in with a butt strike or whatever you want to do at that point. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to show you so you guys can practice a lot of these. This can be done with just about anyone. All of you that know your basic 6 yang blocks and the basic 6 yin blocks, we can do this for all of them pretty much. A couple are looking try. So let me show you. If I did a diagonal here, I did a window block here. This one's a little harder to do. I don't really, you would almost have to reach here and slide down like this. And that's very awkward. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. Right side, hitting the left side. Boom, here, the same thing. I can slide down, stripping, hitting them, and then come back up with a groin strike or something like that. Low strike, same thing. Here, bang, I can slide up here. This one would be almost more like this 2-arm grab, like a baseball bat, striking up, hitting the groin, something along those lines. On the left side, you could do the same thing. He strikes here. I can slide up. That's not as powerful, but it probably would do the job. Potentially, at least getting him confused enough to do to come in and do something. So go ahead and try as many of those blocks that you know, all the 6 blocks, both in yang and yin, and see about how does it feel to slide in. And be careful, but try to slide in and use that as a disarm of your opponent. Unlike the previous one, this one disarms them and the tambo is gone. It's on the ground and you still keep yours. Go ahead and give it a try. Good, that's it.
So let's go. So we are ending with our right forward stance. Right punch.
Yeah, good. Mamie, that's the better one to do for that one. If you're going to do a window block, you're just going to do a pointy butt strike into the hand. Yep, good.
Step forward. Or step backwards from that. Nice good shift. Open, back, shift. So this is generating power through conservation of defense. That's backwards. There's massive forward to balance everything out. Here, 1, 2.
Make sure you practice, try to practice all if you can. You can also do these with yin, but it's okay if you want to stay with yang right now. Okay, good. Block. So reinforce that, Emily. Reinforce that with the block. So don't put, use your hand more like underneath it on the one side. There, now once you block it, grab and then slide down. So you block open-handed. Once the block is made, then slide. All right. All right. Okay, so for that one, yep, go ahead, Amy. Yeah, go ahead, give that one a try. Okay, so for that one, I would now take, instead of trying to make this slide that's hard to do, what Mamie did, which is perfect, is turn your hand down and strike right on the hand, and then you can follow through. Good. Everybody kind of getting a feel for that? Yeah. All right, go ahead and stop. Okay. So that also, the slide, like I said, can be done with most of the blocks that you have. And what it results in is you losing your opponent's tambo. So you don't have 2 tambos, but that's okay because they don't have the tambo. Now you have the advantage. All right, we're going to do one more like that we're going to use that's going to disarm them completely. We call this one, I like to call this one snake because of the motion of your hand. So what I'm going to do on this one, and this one actually really only works for a left side attack on the side or low. That's pretty much the only 2 that these can work for. So if he's going to come in with a horizontal strike, I'm going to get offline. Remember, always get offline. I'm going to get offline, and then I'm going to take my hand that's checking him right here like this. I'm going to wrap underneath. I'm dropping my Tambo out of the way. I'm coming around, and stripping the Tambo and following him up with a strike. So what I've done is without him here, my check hand is like this. I'm coming up, circling around, I'm turning my hips, and stripping the Tambo from his hand, and then following up with a strike. So one more time when he comes in, I come offline, 1, 2, 3, and as I come through, as I do that, I can also maybe do a quick strike to the face as I'm stripping the Tambo. Everybody see that? Now that'll also work, as I said, for the low side. Same idea. Boom, here. This one takes a little bit more because you're going to have to, depending on how strong he is and how fast he reacts, this is a harder one to get. But when he comes in, I can block, start, take care of it real fast. But the only thing about that one is you lean a little bit to get that because it's low. So this is the best one for that. Go ahead and try on the side and strip and follow through.
I would say the very intentional process.
So this is going to work for the left side. Someone's attacking your left side horizontal strike, blocking, reaching up, turning your hips. Good. All right. So now Emily was very nice and just let that drop out of her hand. But you want to turn your hip. You want to, when you come up like this, turn your hip. As you come back around, turn your hip back. All right. The hip is what's going to get the power for that. When you finish that circular motion and you turn your hips back, the Tambo will pop out of their hand. So 1, 2, and you should have the Tambo just come right out when you go through this full circle. That one, you need to do a left horizontal, Mamie. Yeah, so left side, that's it. All right, check hand out. Nope, wait, go back. Mamie on this one. So you're gonna go here and you're gonna put your hand on the inside. Okay, good, up against her hand, up against her arm on the inside. Bring it over top. Bring your left arm on top. There you go, good. Now you're going to circle the other way. Circle the other way. So from here, you're going to circle up over top towards the outside of her arm, bring it up inside her arm, turn it back around. There you go. That's it. Let's see, how are we doing down there? Aiden and Sabine, how are you guys doing? Let's see. Yeah, you got it? Awesome. Rohai, looking good, feeling it? All right, good. Everybody feel good with that one? Yeah, that's a very limited one, but it's another disarm that we have in our arsenal. Okay, so the next one we're going to work on is going to be, I'm going to call it a lock. We're going to work on several different locks. The first one I call an elbow lock. It's not, lock is probably not the best term because I'm going to be doing some chokes and I'm throwing them into locks, but it's just whatever. Something different. So the first one we're going to do is what I'm going to call the elbow lock. And so when he comes in with that diagonal strike, I'm going to yang. I'm going to do my check hand again here. But now, instead of what we did before, which was the hook here, I'm actually going to keep my hand on his, and I'm instead going to come through, smack him in the face, take my poigno right at his elbow, and hook him. Notice that he went down right away. That feeling is not good. Your elbow is getting torqued in a really funny way. So what I can do with that is when I'm here, I smack him in the face, bring him to the ground, and now, come back with whatever strike you want. And in the process of that, I've wrenched the Tambo out of his hand. If you get the Tambo out, great. If you don't, you got him on the floor and you just smacked him in the head with the Tambo. If he still gets up, run. If you smack him hard in the face with a Tambo and they get up, I think I just get out of it, right? All right, so one more time. We're gonna go offline, check the hand, grab the hand, smack the face, hook at the elbow, turn, strip it, strip, strike. All right, you see it? Go ahead and give that one a try. We'll look at the other ones in a minute.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Tavor just realized we joined the wrong session.
You did?
He's
Okay.
supposed to be in the kids session.
All right. Well, he's
So we're
welcome to go to the section.
We're going to switch over to the kids session. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Class was really fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
We talked about the center line product. I'm not fighting for these distances, right?
All right, work on it.
Step in, like, big power. Talk about center line.
Yeah, get the hand. So when you, Emily, when you're doing that block in the check hand, put your check hand on the inside, blocking the strike coming in. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, a little bit up more towards the wrist. I wouldn't go that far up, even though normally, oh, there you are. Okay, switched over. Yeah, because you're going to use the Tambo to hook now at the elbow. Yeah, there you go. Now turn your hip, turn it. There you go. Good. You got it to the ground. Now smack her for having the audacity to come in and attack you. Good. Everybody got that one? Okay. So we can do that also in yin grip as well. Although it's a little different. Keep practice for 1 second. I'm gonna have our student finish. All right, good. So we just did that in yang. We can do it in yin as well. But again, just like the hook we were doing earlier, it's going to be slightly different because he's going to come in. I'm going to grab and check his hand. And now this time I can try to butt strike him. It may not work though, because that's harder to get. And here I'm going to come in just the same. I've got to get my hand all the way into his elbow in order for this to work. If I try to do this, it's not going to happen. I've got to get all the way down here so I can torque it and attack. So go ahead and try that in the yin grip as well.
Sensei Mark,
Yes.
we're kind of having a little trouble with the takedown-y part.
Okay. All right.
Offline.
Uh-huh.
I wrap around the elbow.
Yeah.
And then he come in.
Yeah.
And then he just sort of like.
Okay. So he's fighting it. Yeah. Because he knows what you're doing. So he knows to react to it pretty quickly. So if he does that, then you need to switch what you're doing at that point. And there's any number of changes to do. So if the person knows it's coming or can adapt and sit themselves up, then you're just going to need to react and go a different direction. Yeah, we're going to get to that one. Yep.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Good question. Good. Yeah, looks good. Mhm. All right. Good. All right, everybody got a couple times on that? Yeah, good. And for you, Sensei Jelly, one of the moves that you can do right away for that, if the elbow lock doesn't work, switch it to the hook that we did, the hooking disarm. Sensei Matt just showed that as a nice idea. So if I come in, I'm here, and this doesn't take him down to the ground. Immediately, all I've got to do is strip down and do that hook that we did at the beginning. So remember the elbow, start here. All you gotta do is slide down to the next joint and try to get it if the first one doesn't work. Okay, very good. Thank you for that. All right, everybody got that? So I'm calling that an elbow lock. It's not technically a lock. This one's more like an actual lock. It's an arm lock is what I'm going to call this one. And now I'm going to start with this one from the side. We're going to do a side horizontal strike. So when he comes in for the horizontal strike, again, I'm getting offline. I'm using my check hand. If I can do that simultaneous with my block, that helps because this reduces the impact of this strike here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my Tambo horizontal and I'm going to strike him in the floating rib. And now I'm going to step forward as I bring the Tambo up. As I strike him here, I'm going to rotate my hand. So as I strike him here, I rotate my hand up like this. So I come through with the strike into his rib. I'm going to rotate up. Okay? So hit the floating rib, rotate up. As I rotate up, I'm going up to his armpit basically and stepping and taking him down. You have to have the angle. Let me see if on this side you can see the angle better on the back side. So if he comes in here, when I come in here, I need to have it so that I can leverage him. If you don't have this kind of diagonal angle, it might slip out or you might not get that to work. All right, so try that with your partner. You're going to go here, 1, 2, strike the floating rib, turn the wrist up, stepping through and taking him to the ground. And then finish him off. Hit him in the head. Always finish. Someone attacks you with a Tambo. Strike, rotate up. Yeah, there you go. That's it, Amy. Good. Yeah. Yep. Rotate up, Aiden. Rotate up. I'm not sure if Aiden should be in one of you. There you go. That's it. Good. Yeah, good. And Rohi, you added a little foot sweep in there. That's also a good thing if you want to add that. Absolutely. All right, real quick. So now that you practiced that a couple times, I'm going to add to that a little bit. We can do that in yin grip, and we can do that in yang and yin grip on the low strike as well. So here, if I'm in yin grip, if I step offline, it still works, but this one is a little harder to do. Actually, never mind yin grip. I don't think yin grip's going to work on that. So it's going to be a low strike here, catching his hand. I'm striking up. And this time, I may not hit the rib, but I may pop him up on the way and then step through. So just do that in yang low as well. Try the yang low.
Any questions on the seat?
I would do it if I was under
Well, just reps, right? We'll get plenty of reps. Good.
general.
All right, let's talk about the fibers on this. So when I step up, right, it's still loaded, like power is still forward, and then I step out. All that power generates down into the ground. Same thing here, right? 1, 2.
Good. You got it? Everybody feels pretty comfortable with that? Okay. All right. So by the way, we're going to go through a lot of different combinations. A couple of things that I want you to get out of this class. You may not remember everything, but from a principle perspective, number one, you want to get offline with any attack that's coming. You got to get offline. Number two, you need to engage and work with your hip with the techniques. If I'm stripping, if I'm doing a strike, all of those, you know to engage your hip. So make sure you engage your hip. That's going to give you more power. And then the third thing is, and this is extremely important to help control your attacker, is your check hand. for all the different techniques. For all the techniques, if I'm not doing anything but just my basic blocks, I got a check hand here. For the basic block here, for this one, I can do a check hand here, side block here, the other side block here. So you can engage that check hand with every one of the blocks that you have. And it's important. Okay, all right, so we just did the arm lock. Now we're gonna do neck lock. It's not lock, it's more of a choke, okay? So let's look at this one. He's gonna come in with this is gonna be on the, choke is gonna be on the right side block. So we've been doing a lot of lefts now. We're gonna go to the right side on this one. So here, I'm gonna do a window block. So I'm gonna move this one a little bit. So he comes in with a strike. I'm doing a window block. As I do my check hand, I'm gonna come in, smack him in the face, come behind him, and choke. And I can bring him down now. You can apply pressure on here until he taps out if you want, but I'm not gonna do it too hard. He's nice. He knows what he needs to do to protect himself, which is turn his neck. If he turns his neck and I'm pressing on the tendon, it's not gonna do anything. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'll come in that way. All right, so one more time. When he comes in with this strike, I'm gonna go offline, window block, check. I can hit maybe if I come through, wrap behind him, and if he's being like that, I'm gonna turn the Tambo to find where his esophagus is and apply the pressure. And notice where I'm at. I've got my center to him. And so if I need to, if I put a lot of pressure on here, he's just gonna drop to the floor. Okay? So give that a try with the window block. So with the window block, you're here. You may strike as you come through, come behind them, grab, pull, and put a little very, very light pressure. If you turn the person that's being done to, if you turn to the side, this doesn't work. So the attacker or the defender move it over. So now you got my esophagus. Go ahead and give that a try.
This is a nice, strong, big muscle. This is a deep muscle. But we don't upgrade. We want to affect. Like if I'm here, I'm not bringing my shoulders and rotating out. I'm bringing my lat and I'm pulling it down.
If you have any questions at all during this, just feel free to unmute and ask a question. Good, that's it. Good, Emily. Now, bring the Tambo around, hit her in the face. Now run behind and choke her. Yeah, that's it. Good. Yeah, got it. Aiden and Sabine, good. Yeah.
Any questions on concepts, on application, on technique?
Okay, real quick, go ahead and stop for a second. This can be done, basically this is a neck choke, so it's a choke. It can be done for all pretty much the right side blocks. In yin, it's a little harder though. So it becomes a little more contrived. It's harder to do, but you can do it. If he comes in with a diagonal strike from left to right, and I come in with the yin with a lock, I would come around here and choke him this way. So I'm basically wrapping it across and coming in like that. Give that one a try. It's a little harder to do, but it can work. One more time. Since I might love to get choked, I come in and strike, and then connect. Go ahead and try that one. That one gets the choke though a lot faster. It's harder for them to turn their head to get out of the way, get the esophagus out of the way. Yep, so your poinio, your butt end goes over to their left side, and then you bring your hand up underneath on the inside to choke. Now, so take that across, Emily, when you did that, you got the left hand across the side, there. Bring your right hand up and grab the tambo on her right side. No, the other way around. On the inside. I'm sorry, bring your left hand underneath. That's hard to get. Here, watch this again. So let's do maybe this side. Not sure, but come offline. So I'm going to come offline here. Boom. I'm going to come in, strike him, come through, and my left hand is going on his right shoulder here. Okay. So this is basically what I'm doing. Just getting like that. So I'm just taking my left hand onto his right shoulder, pulling it across.
Oh, so do you kind of like feed with the right hand and then just take over with the left hand and slide the right one back?
And if you want to, the only thing about that though, that does take a little extra time to do. And so in that fraction of a second, it's possible he could do something fast and get out of it. But yes, that's also an option for sure. Everybody got it? Keep practicing a few more. Yeah, that's it. Good. That you got it there, Amy. Yeah, that's it. Good. All right, everybody got that a couple times? All right, so I'm going to show you now. We're going to move on to, again, this is not really truly a lock, but it's a finger lock. Well, I guess it can be looked at as a finger lock. All right, so I'm going to do, he's going to do a horizontal strike. Oh, you're going to try it? Yeah, good. If you can get in and get it. Almost. All right, everybody take a look here. The next one I'm going to do is going to be a horizontal strike. He's going to come into horizontal. I'm going to get offline using my check hand. I'm going to reach, stop him. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my tambo horizontal in line with his. Slide my hand down on both tambos. Now regrab both tambos. And I'm going to squeeze right here. Okay, so real close. When he comes in, I rotate my, get offline. I rotate my tambo right in line with his, sliding down, sliding over. So this has got to be done fairly quickly. But by doing that, now I've got him where if I just put a little pressure on here, he's starting to tap. Okay, crush. So this is what I crush. It's not really a lock per se, but there is some stuff we can do with that. All right, give that a try. That one works pretty much on the side. It can work on the low one, but I think the side is the best one for this one. So give that a try. Reach up, slide down, slide onto both ends of the tambo, and slightly add pressure. Feeling it? So one arm has to be all the way down at the end, and the other hand has to be down at the, or one hand has to be down at the end of the tambo. One hand has to be close to your attacker's arm or hand. Okay. All right, everybody got it? You feeling it? Everybody got a chance to do that? So when you do that, you can also do a little hook motion as well. I'm going to show you just real quick. You don't have to practice this necessarily, but if I'm here and I go here, and this doesn't seem to really work for him, I can then by looping it around if need be, but don't worry about doing that. If you smash the person's hand and they're still holding on to it, again, I think you should probably just run at that point. If they're holding on and you smash their hand like that. Okay, so moving on. The next one we're going to work on are some more like neck takedown and control type of moves. And so we're going to start with, we're going to start with a neck control. So this is not a choke so much. He comes with a diagonal strike. I'm gonna come in here, and then I'm gonna bring his hand down. As I bring his hand down, I'm gonna bring my Tambo, the poinio, up to the back of his neck. I'm gonna rotate his hand and I push down on the inside back of his neck. It's important, let me do it on this side, to show you. In order to make this the most effective, when I get here, you could also pop him in the face. But when I'm here, go to the monitor. All right, when I'm here, I'm on the opposite side of him and I'm digging into him as I do this. And I'm bringing him into a control position by pushing on the inside of the back of his neck. So you got to use the poinio on this to make the most effective use of it, okay? And just so you guys know, the poinio is the short end by the end of the hand, okay? All right, so give that a try. One, offline, roof block, grab with the check hand, pop him in the face, grab, work him around, having the control with his neck. See it? Any questions? All right, give that one a try.
Correct. So the first part here is right forward stance, left inner middle block. Down, chop, left, left, left. I repeat, left forward stance, right inner block. Right inner middle block. Off corner. So that's correct. Okay. You're in opposite stance, you're reversing.
Good. And Amy, when you're doing that with the poinio, kind of rotate your hand and bring her arm up as you go. So her arm goes up behind her like that as you control it.
Watch your blocks. Way out. All you need is
There you go. That's better. Generally the idea. It takes a little rotation of your hand. You switch the grip on your free hand. All right, real quick. I want to show you on this one. You can also do any other right or attacks to the left. He comes in with a right horizontal. I can strike him here, bring it around, which is a little more contrived, but I can do it if I wanted to do that. If I wanted to do a window block here, I can get it as well. So play around with it and see which different blocks allow you to get that neck control. And personally, I like this one as one of my favorites because it really does control your attack. The other ones, if you don't get it right, this one, pretty easy to get. I think pretty much right out of the back or out of the box. Okay, go ahead and give it a try on different blocks and see how it feels for a few more minutes, and then we're going to move on.
Let's break it down from the beginning. Sort of trying to walk through and fizzling out that backwards. So start from the top. Natural stance, just about it. The heels swing out. Sticky hands, movement. Right on top. Left on top. Left on top. Right. Pull it in. Stepping forward, remember to come through cat stance. Punch. Reach in. Back. Cat stance. Punch. Reach in. Back. Retreat. Here. Can you show me you guys doing the onside? 1, 2.
Good. Everybody have a chance to do it a few times? Yeah. Try to different blocks. Okay. I forgot one more one of the locks. It's a leg lock. We'll go back a second. So yeah, since we've gotten an arm, finger, neck, elbow, we can also do a leg. If he were to do a downward strike, I come down here. Now I can check his hand, pop him in the groin, take him forward with a leg lock, but you have to go low on this one. So this is, instead of a, you can do it on the other direction too. It could work here, boom, but that would be strange for me to go down like that. This would be here, I'm coming down, boom, smack him in the leg. That's just check hand here. Pop him in the groin, and now, just like we did for the block up here, going like this, we're doing the same thing here. Taking him down, follow up with a finishing move. All right, give that one a try. So your attacker is doing a left to right diagonal strike. You are going to go into a turtle stance with a low, with a window root block, and then you're going to check his hand, smack him in the leg, come up, push him forward, and finish him off. Try that.
Left forward stance, right in the middle box. Up, further down. Chop, and then soft middle. Soft lower. Give it back to him. Pinch. Grasp him. Okay, let's walk through that one more time. And I'll give you guys about 3 more minutes to walk yourself.
Everybody feel it? Everybody done it a couple times?
Walk through together one more time. We've got in. Stick your hands. In. Step forward, punch.
Okay, so that's the side one. Y'all doing the side one? Or you want to try to do the leg one, where you would drop down, Emily, when she strikes. Low, yep. And then you check her hand, smack her in the leg.
1, 2, 3.
Here, Emily and Amy, let me show you that one more time.
Lock, strike.
So since I'm at, when he comes in, what I'm doing is he's going from left to right diagonal. I'm going to drop down. So now his strike goes past me. And now he's coming back for the strike. I catch, striking in the leg, low. I'm coming from my right across to his right leg. Now I'm going to step forward, push him forward, follow up. So you will need to be kind of low in a stance. If you're trying to do that from up high, it's not going to work very well. You need to sink down into a low turtle stance. All right, go ahead and try that a couple more times, and then we'll go ahead and move on.
Stepping forward, block, press the face, pitch hand, check. Stepping forward, block, press the face.
All right, good. All right, so you got the tiger. You guys are staying up a little high. You want to get down low for that and make that work best. All right, let's move on. Before we do, let me have Tiger Dojo, if you can unmute for a second. I'm going to put you guys on the spot. What's one of the very most important principles of blocking a strike?
Get out of the way. Get
Yes.
offline.
Get offline. Excellent. Very good. And Joseph, what about you? What is another principle that involves the power that you generate to disarm someone or to affect any type of counter?
Use the hips.
The hips. Absolutely. So remember, engage the hips and also make sure you get offline. And then the third one, Redwood Dojo. Can you remember one of the third things that I mentioned that's very important when you're blocking?
Thank you. Check the hand.
Check hand. Yes, using that free hand to check your opponent. Excellent. Very good. That's nice. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to go on now and we're going to do another one. And this one's going to work for right side attacks. So let's say he comes over the right side diagonal and I do a window block and I check his hand here. What I'm going to do from here is I'm going to come in and I can do a pointer.
Yeah, here.
Here, I can come in and strike him as I come in quickly, get my knee up and hip to hip. Now what I'm going to do, if I'm nice, I'm just going to turn him
Nice and slow.
Hold on to the tambo or let it go flying. If I'm not nice, or he's being obstinate, make sure I said that the right way this time. Apparently I did it earlier. Hit in the hand. I'm going to slide in, and now I'm going to take my hand and push his head. Follow through. All right. So for this one, it's a right side. We're going to do a window block for a downward diagonal. We can also do this one for the side horizontal block. We can also do this one for the low block. All right, go ahead and give that a try. You want to start with the window block, using your check hand from there, pop them in the hand, slide in deep, get hip to hip, reach up, turn.
Stay on what you're saying. Angle off to the side. And that's, there you go. Right. So the angle says, watch your reach hand. Coming up a little bit that way. Make sure we're coming from one shoulder to the other. You're extending it out.
Window block, yep, good. Check hand there. Now hit him with the tambo, or you can go straight in. Now take your left hand, Emily, up. There you go. Now turn and rotate, and she would fall to the ground. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, you can do that too. That's good, Amy. Any strike is good. And then turn your hip on that one to make sure, unless she doesn't want to take the fall, make sure you turn the hip to turn that over, make her fall.
Cross here, very open, and you're moving back front, feel very closed off. You're very limited in this turn here. And as you get your stance here, so when you stand up ever so slightly, you're going to find yourself back five, kind of like you're scooting a little, but it's
Good.
don't get that second part. So feel here, 1, 2, then straight. Left, right, then straight forward. Perfect, there you go. And we'll get the same concept about the ridge element. When you come out, make sure it comes slowly, slowly.
All right, everybody got that a few times? Feel that pretty good? Yeah, looks good. All right. Okay, so let's move on. We're gonna do another one. This is gonna be for also a right side attack. Now for a right side attack, we're gonna do, for this one, we'll use the side, the yang block. So he's gonna come in with a horizontal. I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna block, and then I'm gonna drop down, smack his hand, and slide this hand down into a pressing arm. Okay, so the combination of this, the steps, if I get offline, use the check hand, block here, strike, and as I'm striking here, I'm sliding this up to his elbow, and I'm holding on. If you need to, you can actually use your hand against your chest to lock in if you don't grab it, because it's kind of hard to hold the tempo at the same time. But then I can rotate and drop him to the ground. Strip it if you need to, smack him in the head, and then get out of there. All right, without him here, I'm going 1 here, striking, and as I strike, I'm going to slide him close to me and slide up and rotate down and bring him forward as I step forward. You see it? Give it a try. This is pressing arm. This works for the right side attacks, or attacks to the right. Good, there you go. And Amy, step forward with your left leg as you bring her down to the floor. Yep, Okay, now Emily, step your left leg towards her and forward through. Yeah, there you go. That's generally the idea.
Are there any conceptual questions? Questions on principle or application?
That's it. Good. Aiden, Sabine, you got it.
Questions
Yeah.
on technique or sequence?
I have no doubt, since Jelly has it. Yeah.
Start from the top. Over the heels and come up to the end. 1, 2, 3.
Everybody got it? You got it? Feel comfortable with it? Yeah. All right. So that was pressing arm. Now we're going to show one that's a little harder to do, and it could potentially cause a little more. If you don't do this one good, you're going to end up getting smacked in the head. But I want to throw it in there anyway. This is going to be for a left side. Okay. So again, if we're going to attack the left side, we can be. Let's go with a horse one for this here. That's fine. So from here, I got the check hand out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step in. I'm going to bring this hand down, bring it around, over, and down. And now I've got both handles in one hand, or however it ends up working out. So I'm doing a Shionagi, our 4 directions throw for the brown belts and up in here to know that. So one more time, or probably a couple more times. If I do this one here, side, what I do is I come through. I'm going to strike him. I didn't do that the first time. I'm going to strike him, hit him with his floating rib. Take the Tambo out, and I'm going to turn his hand as I step forward. I get close to him. And now I've got my hand here and here on him. As I turn it around,
Long strike.
he falls to the ground. I can finish him off. You see it? That's a little harder to do, but give it a try.
Sensei, can we see it one more time at speed?
Yes. When he comes in, boom, bang.
Soft low.
Thank you, Sensei. Yeah, I got that. I got that on list.
All right, give it a try.
There you go. All right. Is it this way?
You're still muted. I mean, not muted, Sister Jelly.
Soft middle.
There you go. That's it. You got it.
Yeah, pick your weapon.
My balance is so far back.
Important part of this, of course, is, uh-oh. Yeah, that's it. You got it, Amy. There it is. That's what you got to do. Real quick, I want to make a mention of something, and Amy just found out how to fix it, which is good. When Sensei Matt came in for that strike, and I hear boom, when I start to turn around like this, if I leave his elbow down low here, he's going to pull me back.
Yeah.
There's no way I can do that.
Counter for.
I've got to get his elbow up high and pulling it back like this, so he's falling. And he's out of balance. You get Kazushi on him. All right, go ahead and try that a few more times.
What would you go to be over here? So that you know.
I might go to stand. Narrator. Yeah. I'm here. I'll get up. Get that under. I'll get you back.
Then get your hip around one spot.
Let me see. What I can do. Not what I can do. Yeah. So.
Snap. Rotate the hand back towards their left, Emily. Yep. Step through them, around them, all the way up, over to your right side, and pull them down. Yeah, you got it.
But I can.
Nice job, Emily. That was it.
Then,
Good.
Left hand block. Down, chop. Lower. Right back. Bridge hand.
Good. Very good. Nice. All right. Everybody have a chance to do that a few times? Kind of feel that? Now, this 4 directions throw, there's a lot to it, and the connection of the hip and body and so forth. We don't have time to go into a whole lot of the details on that, but you've got the general idea. And once you learn it, with the connection of the body and hip, it can go pretty quick and work really well. All right. Any questions on that so far? Did anybody have any questions at this point? No? Okay. So the next one we're going to work on is going to be for yin grip only. So we're going to work on one that's going to only be in yin grip. And there's basically for a left side attack. Sorry. All right. So it's going to be a left side attack. I'm going to use I can use a yin root block, or we can do a yin left side block. Although I think the root block is actually the best one to use easily to get this one in. So he's going to come in actually with this one. Boom. I'm going to strike there. Although actually that one would work too, but let's do this one here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, strike him with the butt end of the Tambo in his face. And I'm going to come up underneath him. And now I've got an arm lock. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't have the mats or that have never taken the throw like that, you don't have to do the throw. So what you can do instead is when you come in, block with the yin grip, using this reinforcement here to block this attack. Grab his hand though as you come in and butt strike him. And as you butt strike him, you step up, in, come around. And now all you got to do is if you want to try to lift them up or at least get to this point here where you got them up, and then you can throw them if you want to do that, if you know how to take that throw. Now, if you are going to try that throw, let me tell you, please be very mindful of where your body is in relation to him. If I were here when I did the throw and his arm is out like this and I'm away from his shoulder, I could rip his arm out of his socket. So I need to be up here where I am my shoulder is buried in his armpit if I'm going to do that. Okay. So one more time, he comes in, I block here, reach, grab, strike, step in, I'm sinking low, and I'm putting him on my back. All right, give that a try. Good, Joseph, that's it. Nice, I look good. Yeah, you got it there. Good. Go high. Looks good. Boom. Yep. Now, Emily, slide it, butt in straight up. Slide your elbow or your shoulder under her armpit and turn around and face her completely. And you want to be against her. There you go. That's it. Nice. Yeah, there you go. Good. Yin. Slide in. Get close. Elbow into armpit. That's it. Good, Amy. You got it. All right. Looking good. All right. Nice. Excellent.
Is there anything major that's stopping me from also doing it in the yang grip?
No, you can. It can be done in the yang grip. The only problem though is if you do it in the yang grip, the Tambo now comes up and you could possibly smack yourself if you're not careful with it.
Okay, makes sense.
I'll show you. Since they matter. If I'm in yang and I come in, I do this block here, I smack him in the head, I come up here. I could, if I'm not careful when I'm doing that, smack it. Not to mention when I'm here for this block here, to get this now into the position I needed to go into, I've got to go out, I've got to go around, I've got to come up, and then I got to come in. Whereas with the yin, I'm here, yin, I'm here, and I'm going straight up into it. So it makes it a little more direct. But yes, you can do that in yang grip, but it's more steps to get to it. Good question. All right, everybody do that a few times? All right. So we just worked on Tambo to Tambo for a bit. For the last few minutes of class, we're going to work on empty hand to Tambo. So we're going to work on attacks with someone who's attacking with a Tambo, but you don't have one. Okay, so we'll work alternating back and forth, which is great because you're going to be empty hand and you're going to end up with a Tambo, and then you're going to attack back. So you can alternate back and forth on this one. So the first one we're going to do is kind of it's similar to the one that we did earlier. In fact, it's the same idea, the elbow lock that we did where we hooked them. Okay, so when Sensei Matt comes in for this attack, I'm going to come offline, boom, I'm going to hit him in the face, and then I'm going to come through here. Notice I dropped the Tambo out when I did that. And this actually leads right into this, another one here. In fact, let me just skip to this one. This will make it easier. It's kind of similar. Smack, hit him in the hand, or hit him in the neck. This hand is grabbing him. And what I'm going to do with this hand is I'm going to turn my hand down. I'm going to turn him around, and I'm going to bring him up like this. And now I'm going to do drop and follow up. So when he comes in, I'm grabbing his check hand here, and all I'm doing is I'm turning my hip, turning down and around, and bringing it up. So watch it one more time. He comes in, I step offline, hit, and use this check hand. I'm going to drop the Tambo in his arm and his shoulder down, turning it around, twisting it, so that now I've got him in this position. So it's this motion. Down and around, down and around. Go ahead and give that a try. And alternate back and forth. It works out good because you'll have the Tambo and then you can attack.
Focusing here. But remember, I'm focused on the center. My projection of energy should be forward. So this rotation is about extending one side. Extending.
Okay, so Emily, actually, you're going to go on the live side. You're going to move off to her left, and you're going to pop her in the neck and grab with the hand. Good. Now take that left hand that's holding the Tambo, and take your hand and go like this. Turn down and around, and you're going to twist it as you do it, and you're turning her wrist. Twist your wrist like, yeah, generally, yeah. There you go. That's the idea. So you're wrenching it and turning it as you turn your elbow. See it? All right.
Sensei Mark, Tiger Dojo / Crescent Moon Dojo has to go move locations now.
Oh.
We're gonna say goodbye, but thank you so much. We really enjoyed this.
so much.
Yep.
We'll see you in a little bit for the ending.
All right. See you for the ending. Okay. Everybody getting it?
So a good example is on this rotation here, right? Stepping sideways. My energy is still.
All right. Rohai, did you find that? Did you get that twist?
My energy is shoulder. Look at this rotation, right? The rotation is what causes it to stop.
Okay.
My shoulder
That's a little low. You want to bring the arm all the way up and around for this, but well, there's that too. That's a different one. Yeah. There's all so many. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on with all the different techniques.
What am I doing wrong, Sensei? What?
Okay.
What? How should I modify it?
All right. So here's what you'll do. Watch this again. Let's see if this side works better, maybe. No, it won't. Maybe they will. All right, so I'm going to go. He's going to come in. I step in. Bam. But here, what I'm doing is I'm keeping this hand is checking, and I'm going to turn. And as I turn, I'm rotating his wrist. Notice how he's already starting to turn that. So my hand is curving like this. As I do that, I'm going to step. As I turn this wrist, I'm going to step forward into him.
Oh, you're doing the Shionage one. All right.
It's essentially like Shionage, but
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah. It's like a half of not quite full Shihonagi in a way, a little bit more.
Also kind of reminds me of one of the earlier disarms of Tambo on Tambo, where you just, oh, was that the name of it?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. That was a Shihonagi. What you can do with the Tambo in your hand, you can do without the Tambo in your hand.
Go here. This Tambo. Tambo's doing.
Aiden and Sabine, feel good with it? Yeah. Okay, good. Now, if that's Sabine, when you did that, make sure you're facing your opponent. Don't turn around and face the other direction. So you want to turn and stay facing the same towards their back. Keep your face towards their back when you do that. There you go. Nice. That's it. Good. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Running out of time. We're only going to have time to do maybe a couple more. Okay. So this next one we're going to do, we've already done with the Tambo in our hands. Okay. And there's any variation, any number of variations for this particular hip throw that we're going to do. So if he comes in with that strike again, I'm going to come offline, get in deep. I'm going to hit him here. Now, what we did earlier was I came in on one arm shoulder throw, like we just did with the Tambo earlier. Now that I don't have a Tambo in this hand, it frees me up to do an Agoshi or a Koshi Garuma, which is coming in, hit here. And to me, this is actually the easiest one to get to, which is the hip wheel, which is taking my hand, come up behind his head, get him in the arm lock. Okay, so don't, unless you want to take the throw, don't take the throw. But one, you can also do two, come in, hit him in the face, come low and do a regular Agoshi. So you can go low behind the back, you can go up around the neck, or you can come up under the shoulder. Personally, I think hip wheel, which is the one behind the neck, is the most efficient because it doesn't take that much time. I just come in, hit him, turn, and I've got him. And all I gotta do is take the throw. So what you'll do, for those of y'all practicing, come in, check the hand, hit them in the face, come in, and lift them up if you want to, or if they're ready to take a whole throw, go for it. Go ahead and practice. Walk down, chop, walk, soft style, shoot back out, fluid. One, three, same thing. Yeah, Rohai, nice. That looked good. Elbow block. Okay, now Aiden and Sabine, yeah, you can do that one. Sure, yeah. Good to move forward? Excellent. All right, left foot, stepping forward. Left hand spears down to the groin. Right. Yeah, nice. There you go. Good. Spear, chop. So it's going to look like this. Step forward. Notice my stance. Cat stance first, right? Bam. All right. Y'all get a chance to do that a few times? Everybody good? All right, so let's move on. We may just do one more. All right, so this next one we're gonna do is he's gonna throw, realistically, if he throws a right to left horizontal strike, first one, I'm gonna back out of the way. Then he's gonna throw a left to right, I'm gonna come in, pop, and here. Now I could go on and on and on just on this particular one, what we can do with it. But here, what I want you to do is what we did earlier. You can walk in, and if you want, just rotate it around this way. Do that again. I come in, I check him. I can immediately from here just take and do a pressing arm this direction, strip, smack him in the face. I could, on that second one he comes in, boom, I can check his hand here. I can take his hand with my hand right on his, two thumbs right here. But you gotta be careful on this one. I can smack him maybe in the face as I do, or bend wrist. And there's a whole bunch of others we can do with that. So why don't we try just the pressing arm to start, because that's probably the safest one. You come in deep, catch the arm, pop him in the leg if you get that. Pop him in the leg, then step forward, rotate, drop him to the ground, strip it out, follow through. Give that one a try.
Every time I come over, you finish. I did. I got some.
Nice, good Redwood. Nice doing the bend wrist on that. That one has to be done really fast if you do it so that they don't have a chance to move the tambo back and hit you in the face. Rohai, when you come in on that strike, don't try to grab with both hands. I like to come in and check more like this with the forearm and then rotate the elbow into him and then roll it over.
Soft low, press the middle. Bumps out. Up. Calm heel, track. Advance. Calm heel, track. Spear hand, chop.
Good. Looking good. Nice. Aiden and Sabine, if you're going to do that Kota Gaesh, when you're doing that one, try to keep the tambo pushed more back towards your opponent.
Yeah.
All right. So when you're going to do that Kota Gaesh, you come in, he does this one, I back up, I come back in, boom. If I want to do a Kota Gaesh with this, I want to try to bring it more towards him like this, rather than bringing it up high, because when I do that, I might hit myself in the face. See, there's a difference. All right, good. Everybody got it? All right. Does anybody have any questions? We've gone through a lot of different techniques for disarming, stripping, locking, choking, and so forth. But again, let's see if my students remember what are some of the things that we talked about principle-wise. What's some that you can remember? Getting offline. What else?
Thank you.
What's another? Check in. You say check in? Okay. Body positioning. Yep, that's good. And what else as far as engaging in order to make my technique stronger? Yep. Engage your hips. Engage your hips. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions? No? All right. Well, thank you all for coming in. Hope you all have, I guess we got, what, 15 minutes before we get for the closeout ceremonies and all, and the demo. So thank you all for coming. Let's go ahead. I don't think we bowed in actually, so but we'll bow out together. All right. We'll just bow out. We're not going to meditate. Ciao. Ciao.
Oh,
All right.
let me show you what.
Thank you.
And thank you very much.
See everyone for closing ceremonies.
Bye.